The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. I don't see an X.
This is what happens when the U.S. government be run by big balls.
Good morning, you guys. That's right. It is Wednesday, March 26th. And this is special for you, Rico, because today is it's National Little Red Wagon Day.
Yeah, Little Red Wagons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's my that's actually my handle on Signal.
I bet. I bet. I'm in a whole bunch of group chats on Signal.
Yeah, I got 2 invites this morning.
It's also Epilepsy Awareness Day today, you guys.
Yeah, man. Shut off the flashing light.
The doctors, I bet the doctors tried to tell me that I was epileptic. I told them basically to go fuck themselves.
Yo, if a cop pulls you over and you have epilepsy, can you sue?
You know, I think that's a fair question.
No.
I think that's a fair question.
You shouldn't be driving a car if you have uncontrolled epilepsy.
No, that's not true, Dale. That they give people
bullshit.
No,
I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to settle a case.
They give people their license that are epileptic. That's not true.
I take my advice from a real.
Yeah,
I take my legal advice from a real lawyer, Dale, Jason Beck, Esquire.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I've actually handled a case like that where somebody had a seizure and killed somebody.
Yeah. No, and I do agree with you. In preface, Dale, yes, if they're epileptic seizures and they're uncontrollable, yes, they 100% do totally lose their license. And anytime you do have a seizure, you 100% lose your license, and then you have to get it back through doing a whole bunch of different special type of tests, EEGs, and all these other different types of whatnots in order to be able to prove that you're not going to be a danger to society on the roads.
Cannabis has been known to help multiple epileptics, man. So, yeah. Big shout out to that.
Yeah, that is very, very true. You'll love this one too, Rico. It's also National Nougat Day.
Nougat, as in candy bars.
Not as in Newt Gingrich, but as in nougat in candy bars.
Candy bar.
It's also National Popeye Day because it's National Spinach Day.
I was gonna say, are we talking about the chicken, or are we talking about the cartoon?
Oh, that's a I guess that's a fair statement right there, Rico. Fair statement.
Have you partaken in the bottle service at Popeyes now? They got with Don Julio going on.
Stop it. Are you serious? I mean, I could totally see them doing something like that.
No.
Oh, there she is. She needs to turn her Wi-Fi off.
It's not fucking bottle service. It's in the. They don't have a liquor license.
Jenny Fest said she was approached with sparkler. Popeye's last visit.
She's a Popeyes girl.
They said, "Is it your birthday?"
That's funny. I could totally see Jenny Beth as a Popeyes girl.
I'm on one this morning.
Apparently so. It's also Jenny Beth. I'm so glad you made it in time for this because you'll love this one. It's National Manatee Day, and they're not talking about guys on the golf course.
Four.
That's right. Well, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And we are going to kick it off with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte. He is the DEI dad in every dad space that you can find around the country. Prominent placement and all. That is, it is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte. You're on mute. You're on mute, Rico. You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go.
Oh, yeah, Jason, thank you for that. They call me DEI Daddy, but also Protected Class Papa.
Oh, look at that, Protected Class Papa. Man, I'm going to use that too. That's pretty good. I'm not mad at that.
Oh, man. But
that's fucking great.
Federal legalization of cannabis, whatever it ends up eventually looking like, it is imminent. No longer a matter of if, but when. Legalization has been and remains the goal for nearly all of us in the in the pro-cannabis movement. But should it be? This morning, Green Market Report's John Schroyer reported on the results of a study conducted by the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, that revealed which U.S. states stood to benefit most and worst. If legalization was a reality, and the results might surprise you. Per the UNLV studies report, led by economist Dr. Robin Goldstein, Oklahoma, Oregon, and California are best positioned to benefit from federal marijuana legalization due to their low production costs and high per capita economic potential. This suggests that the states with the cheapest large-scale cannabis production will dominate the national market if marijuana is federally descheduled. Oklahoma ranked first, credited for its efficient legal weed system and long-term potential, followed by Oregon and then California. On the opposite end, New York and Alaska ranked the worst, with New York criticized for poor regulatory execution and Alaska deemed unfit for interstate exports. Another notable one at the bottom of the list was Illinois there. And if you want to see the full list, you can go to our website, but I'm going to just keep on reading here. The study highlighted stark price differences, noting California's wholesale price at $150 per pound compared to Illinois' $1,555. Shout out to alleged MSO price fixing out there in the Lincoln.
Rico, you're cutting out, buddy. I don't know what's going on. There we go.
Y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. There you go. You're back.
Okay.
All right. Missed you.
All right. Goldstein emphasized the interstate competition will pressure high-cost states to protect their markets from cheaper out-of-state cannabis, creating an economic war between legacy and emerging markets. Here's what he had to say. When a producer in Illinois whose legal weed with 25% THC is fetching $1,500 per pound from Illinois retailers in the gated market, faces competition from 30% THC weed from California at $150 per pound, the legal Illinois producer encounters immediate incentives to try to protect its business livelihood by lobbying the state to take protectionist measures and prevent cheap out-of-state retail competition. Low-end wholesale prices are falling 40% per year and may not stop until they are America's lowest. The success of no-nonsense, small government approach to weed regulation taken by the Great Plains states like Oklahoma and Montana has left wonks in number 24 on the list, New York, scratching their heads and planning vacations to dude ranches. By contrast, Goldstein wrote that New York has been a lesson in how not to legalize, end quote. Take from that information what you will, but the way I read it, an actual economist is weighing in on the chaos we report on every day and saying the path to prosperity in descheduled world is, and my man Troy often says in the chat, opening the damn market up. It'd be interesting to see where the power players in Illinois and New York's lobbying dollars are actually going. My guess would be that behind the scenes, they might not be as pro-legalization as we thought. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at Night News. What do you guys think?
All right. All right. First of all, Rico, I think they really discredited Alaska in this as saying that they can't be an export state because everybody knows that Canada is about to be our 51st state, and then there's going to be easy access to Canada or easy access to Alaska.
I'm pretty sure that ain't happening no time soon, Jason.
Okay. Sure.
What kind of weed are you smoking, Jason?
Only the best weed in the world, Dale.
Greenland and Canada that's horse shit coming out of the orange stinker.
Yeah, it's a distraction. It's a distraction to take our eyes off the ball, which is signal.
Oh, that's funny. That is.
According to some messages I received on Signal, you know, I don't know.
She got a signal.
But I think the assessment, assessing New York as kind of a disenfranchised market, I think it's accurate, actually. We had a lot of really high expectations for New York, and we were really disappointed with how that rolled out and continues to roll out. Obviously, because of lawsuits that prevented anything from really moving forward, but that's the nature of New York. I feel like they should have anticipated that. I would love to see where Texas ends up on that list. We should be at the top, but of course we're being Texas right now. So
yeah, they're not even counted. You know, they got Hot Wheels down there though, from what I hear.
Oh, they're going to have some problems with the dormant commerce clause if they try to put up protectionist barriers. The reality is California grows in excess of weed. They grow it pretty cheaply, and it's desirable around the country. If you try to stop it from coming in, you're going to have some problems if it is federally legal. And the reality is that places like Montana, you might be able to grow some weed there, but whether people want to buy it, I don't give a shit what the price is. If it's crappy weed, no one's going to buy it.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Dale, you make a good point because they're hyping up Oklahoma as like the #1 state, and basically it's just going to say on their packaging, it's going to say this weed is just okay.
Yeah. If that.
Jason, you sure you ain't a dad?
I'm a dope dad, bro. I'm a dope dad. Thought you knew.
Yeah, you made Maury Povich sign
jump in there, Shaun. You gotta get this. Shut up.
Oh, I remember. It is kind of very typical Cali to think that no one else can grow weed, but there are other states coming online that are really knocking California out of that rank.
Ooh,
I don't think Cali has the best weed.
Who do you think has good weed, Shaun? Give me an example.
There's a couple different places. Look, we know that.
If you can't name them, they don't exist.
I just started. We know Oregon has some good stuff coming out.
They don't.
We've always known that Michigan has had great stuff.
Okay, Michigan. All right, Michigan. Michigan has good weed. I'll give you that. Michigan has good weed. Okay, Oregon is.
Has good weed, coming up. You know what Michigan has good weed?
What's that, Jenny Beth?
Oregon is trash and Michigan has good weed because California growers all went and busted open new grows in Michigan because California was saturated.
That's all fine. That's true.
Disenfranchise California because the terroir and the things that have happened and the genetics that have come out of California can't be discounted. There's a reason why you go anywhere in the world and they want Cali weed.
That part's true. All right, what other states you got, Shaun?
Texas, we have great weed. Y'all just don't know it.
You guys don't have great weed. Stop it. You guys have Delta 8, okay?
Because we got THCA.
We got THCA.
We have a lot of good stuff, and folks don't realize that. I think California shoots himself in the foot by being so arrogant and assuming that they're going to dominate every state market. It's just not the way it is.
That was a Texas joke.
That states are protecting their industries. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about them running into problems, but I know as far as Texas goes, when it does come online, they're looking to protect local farmers. They don't want to see a bunch of MSOs coming in, and they are thinking about that stuff. So if California wants to save its market, it's got to stop trying to infiltrate other states, and it's got to actually fix issues at home.
Hey, Shaun, what gas station sells the best weed?
Hold on, Jenny. Let Rico go, and then we'll go to you.
Yeah, what gas station sells the best weed around you?
What?
I actually have a few minutes away, and I can get a premium hash hole there, and it's actually tested. It's really good, and it's because Texas Like we've got Buc-ee's, gas stations, convenience stores. It's a huge market here. And if you're stupid enough to be an elitist where you don't want to be in those spaces and meet your consumers where they are, tough shit for you. Are there bad products in gas stations? 100%. But are there also competitors who are starting to realize that that is a viable distribution source? Yes. And y'all should probably get on board.
Hold on.
Shaun Salvaje has the high octane shit you need.
Hold on. We want to hear what Jenny has to say. Go ahead, Jenny.
I mean, first of all, I've been selling weed to people at gas station parking lots for fucking decades. So, like, get in line, Texas. But second of all, Cali is not arrogant because Cali is ignorant. Cali's arrogant because our only problem here is mass oversupply.
Oh, you're R2D2ing. You're R2D2ing, Jenny. Jenny, you're R2D2ing. Jenny, you're R2D2ing. I don't know where you are, but your service is terrible.
You know what else we have in Texas? We don't have laws about public consumption of THCA. We don't have laws that you can't smoke THCA on the patio at a bar. We have lounges in downtown Austin. We have a lot of shit that is way, way less regulated than what's happening in a lot of other states.
We have one of the most open markets, which is what we're fighting for. So I love Cali. I got a lot of love for y'all, but you did get screwed by your regulators, and you gotta fix your shit up.
That is true. That's 100%. You are right about that part, Shaun. I will give you that.
Verizon.
What's that? Oh, look at there she goes. There she goes. Can you hear me now?
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cali's not ignorant. In the fact that we know that everybody wants our weed. We know it because everyone buys it. Why are you other states crying about how the black market's winning? Well, because it's full of Cali weed that fucking smokes better. It just fucking does.
It does.
And when
She's
you're
right
looking
about
at terroir, you're looking at, even if you're looking at outdoor weed in California, the terroir up in the northern parts of the state just have a better sun-soil relationship. So sorry, some cultivars just grow better there. I'm not saying that people can't grow well other places. I spent a long time in the Colorado market. There's a lot of dry weed there, but there's a lot of fire. There's a lot of amazing hash there. There's a lot of innovation that came out of Colorado. There are a lot of things that come out of a lot of states, but you need to acknowledge where the genetics came from, where things like that come from. And I just don't think like, what cool, let's see what happens when we have interstate commerce and watch Cali eat everyone's lunch.
Cali is going to eat everyone's lunch with interstate commerce. That's for sure.
Where exactly do you think all the THCA in Texas comes from?
It all comes from all the boof weed that doesn't sell in California, Sohum.
Yeah, that was my point. Thank you. I don't know why you were acting like that's a got you. That was literally my point.
No one said got you.
He wasn't arguing me. That was a yes and.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, cute, you guys. This was fun.
Just ready to fight.
Yeah. Spicy hump day. Shout out to all the hemp producers out there growing that, you know what I'm saying, that THCA out there, because it's all THCA at the end of the day. And on that, and we're gonna roll into
THCA you got on all those Cali dispensaries.
Exactly. It's all it's all THCA. Our THC in Cali just happens to be better than everyone else's. So
and
that's
shout
all.
out to the Circle K, where you could have bought weed from me back in the day.
Oh,
hey,
man.
California got better barbecue, and Texas got better weed.
Texas, what?
Ooh, that might be fighting words, Rico. I don't eat meat, so I can't say anything about that. But you might want to be careful with saying them words around Texas.
Texas has better water. That's about it. And we're gonna roll into a commercial. And we're gonna be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, I left one, you know? But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade. And in a GMP certified facility, so you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Test it. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Oh, and we are back, you guys. We are back. That was fun.
All right, y'all. Up next, it's the man locally known for smoking the best weed in the world, nationally recognized as the Pete Hegseth of weed. The 20th member of the Houthi PC small group Signal Tat, Mr. on the American flag fire emoji himself, Jason Beck.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Rico. Yes, man, you know, my Signal chat stay popping, you know what I'm saying? But,
Signal.
Shout out to Signal. Shout out to WhatsApp app, all of you guys. But let me tell you what is not popping, okay? Because Arizona, they're having some problems out there, you guys, because Mays, who's their attorney general, says she's going to enforce a ban on THC products for people selling them without a license. And she giving retailers until April 24th to stop the madness, she says. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays says a law barring the sale of THC products without a proper license will be enforced. Mays gave notice in letters to law enforcement and retailers, and Mays says some retailers have claimed the federal Farm Bill of 2018 allows the sale of hemp-based products that contain no more than 0.3 THC. Hold on. Arizona's more stringent law prohibits any THC products from being sold without a marijuana establishment license, and it is not clear what businesses specifically were sent these letters. But sellers of hemp-based products like Total Wine and Wagon Bakery in Tempe do not appear to have a license, according to the Arizona Department of Health Services database. Ultimately, the products will have to come off the shelves or there will be an enforcement piece this year. Yavapai County Sheriff David Rhodes said in a statement. Mays gave retailers until April 24th to remove those items. And man, oh man, I find it funny that they're giving until April 24th, so then that way they can all have a big blowout sale on April 20th. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Well, Jason, tell us again who signed the Farm Bill, because we know you love to tell us that.
That's seen as the greatest president in American history.
You know?
The last president.
Oh, boy. We're also going to have to stop you maybe from reading stories with Native American county names in them, because
it's Yavapai County.
Yavapai. It's like I have a pie,
and it's Tempe, not Tempe is a vegetarian.
It's Tempe, bro. It's Tempe. It's a whole bunch of vegans that live there.
It's Tempe.
It's a whole bunch. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of vegans.
And Tempe is a shithole, by the way. Bear down.
That's why I said it's a whole bunch of vegans there.
Hey, man, they got Arizona University. You know what I'm saying?
It's Arizona State. I went to U of A.
ASU's over there.
Let's not get into it. Arizona State Community College.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Anyways, back to this story though. I mean, this.
It's called the black market, and the state's never going to win that fight. So
no, they're not.
Go ahead, put your gloves on, and the trap's going to laugh all the way to where they bury their money. So
exactly.
Rock and roll.
I don't understand how this attorney general thinks, Dale, that she's going to be able to enforce. I mean, she would have to enact some type of a ban from the governor's office, similar to what Gavin did here in California. In order for her to have enforcement powers, right?
State level legislation to do that. They can't just go in and decide.
Well, no, the governor can create an emergency ordinance just like what they did here in California. They could do that in Arizona, but they haven't done that. The attorney general can't just throw a blanket out there. Hey, I'm going to start doing this.
I think she could be amended for showing a little bit of compassion.
Hold on a second. I want to hear from Dale. I want to hear from the lawyer on this.
It is possible.
Giving people compassion.
It's possible to pass by executive order some emergency legislation or some emergency regulations, let's say. They're going to have to ultimately be approved by the legislature through enabling statutes and things like that. But what they don't really want to accept is you can take every cop in Arizona and get them to try to stop this, and they won't stop it. And then the rest of the crime's just going on. So people are not going to devote the resources they need to stop this. This is a publicity stunt. It's stupid. It's never going to work. What's going to work is green lighting cannabis cultivation, distribution, and sales, and get the fuck out of the way. That's how you.
Yep. I mean, for
the Hegseth of cannabis, Jason, I have a question for you, because you're right. Trump did pass the Farm Bill, but all of these southern states that you would think would align with what his priorities would be, which we haven't really gotten clear information on, but I've heard conversations are happening with certain entities. Like, why? It's so fractured.
Well, it's because there's a lot of rhinos. There's a lot of rhinos around, and there's still a lot of prohibitionists that believe that they're smarter than everybody else.
Jason always like to blame it on the rhinos.
It is. It's always the rhinos, bro. It's always the rhinos. Constantly.
Jason got that. Jason got that Israel propaganda. Everybody I don't like is a rhino.
Exactly. At least he's giving people until the 24th of April. You know, that's 3 full days after.
I think she should have. I think
their product.
I think she should have made the date as far as April 1st, because then it would have been even more of a joke.
I think they understand that these businesses need time to offload their products.
These businesses are not going to comply.
I mean, if Arizona wants to do anything, they should get rid of their protectionist licensing policy so that they don't just have Curaleaf and True Leaves on 2 or 3 corners in every city, and that's they don't have enough. They don't have enough dispensaries.
You know, it's funny you mentioned them
to roll out a protectionist licensing scheme. So now that's the easiest way to destroy the smoke shop and the gas station market.
It's really funny you mentioned that, Sohum, because Curaleaf in Arizona, they're doubling down on their hemp production, and they're turning a portion of their store into strictly only hemp.
It's like
for them, it's a win-win situation. Either they have the dispensary side that's licensed, or they have the hemp side. Either way, they're making money off.
Yeah, I think it's
for them if they have the capacity to do that.
I think it's times like these that people really regret not voting for Kari Lake.
I like Kari Lake. I agree with you on that. Kari Lake was fantastic. She's a really nice lady too.
You would.
I hope that was sarcastic.
No, I'm 100% serious. I've had a number of conversations with her. I think she's fantastic.
Oh my God.
That lady is batshit crazy.
No, Sohum, you liberals are batshit crazy.
I'm not a liberal, first of all.
Okay.
Sarcasm to Jason Beck is a medical condition.
Oh, cute, you guys. All right, well, that was fun. We're definitely going to follow along and see what happens in Arizona in this whole debacle. But I think ultimately, I would really like to see them do some enforcement on Total Wine and Spirits. That would be the most funniest thing ever. Like, because Total Wine and Spirits got real lawyers. You know what I mean? And they would fight some shit like that. I would think. I would hope they wouldn't just put their
Circle K got some lawyers too.
I would hope that they wouldn't just like put their tail between their legs and scurry off and just cowtail to the government. I would hope.
Yeah, all them THCA hustlers out there, man, they're going straight to Signal.
All right, well, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right into attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer. Dale has been an attorney since the Reagan administration. He's represented physicians, hospitals, insurance companies, cops, corrections officers, and for the last 25 years, he specialized in cannabis law. He served a 5-year federal prison sentence for helping medical marijuana patients and managed to save his law license, too. He's blunt. He doesn't smoke them. He's honest, and he's unconcerned with your opinions as well as public opinions, and we'll show you how to defy gravity by pissing up a rope. That's right, it is none of your favorite T.O. Loco, and you can now find him at his office of the Office of Dale Schafer. It is attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and those of you on the East Coast, good afternoon. My story this morning comes out of Marijuana Moment headline, and it comes from Kyle Yeager yesterday. The headline's DEA promotes Anti-420 Day, a contest for young people to flood Instagram with marijuana warnings. Now, my first thought was that I raised 5 children through teenage years, and I got a dozen grandkids, and half of them now are through teenage years. And the DEA couldn't put out a public service message of their fucking life depended on it. So I was maybe chuckle a little bit. I read about this Johnny's Ambassadors, which is the group that's going to be doing this. And I must say my heart goes out to this family that lost a kid who jumped off a building, supposedly because he was, dependent on dabs. I don't know the whole story about this. It's tragic and it's sad. But what this points out to me is the DEA talks out of both sides of its mouth, has a forked tongue. You figure out they're lying sacks of shit. They supposedly were promoting Schedule 3, and now they want to fight against 420, which tells me all along they never wanted this. I think Biden administration forced a schedule change on them. They didn't want it. And as we watch the scheduling change hearings, roll out, we got a chance to see that Their heart wasn't in it. They were going to do everything they can to drag their feet and trip this up. Okay. The other side of this that just irritates the shit out of me is that people think that you can do a little, tap dance cartoon thing for teenagers, or you're going to scare them into not using drugs or having sex or whatever. You've got your head up your ass if you think that's going to work with teenagers. And the teenagers that it works on aren't the problem teenagers you got to work with. Okay. I was a teenager once. You tell me not to do something, fuck you. I'm going to go do it anyway. Try to scare me. I'm just going to go prove that it didn't work that way, Dad, or whatever. Okay. And it reminds me of the Nancy Reagan just say no nonsense that didn't work at all. And they've got this group, Johnny's Ambassadors, and I'm sure that they're well intended. But when you put out Mickey Mouse videos to try and convince teenagers that, dabbing or smoking weed or whatever is terribly harmful for you, I'm just telling you, you are pissing up a rope. I had discussions with my kids when they were teenagers, okay, and I was pretty blunt. You've got a friend of yours that's drunk, wanting to drive, tie the motherfucker up, slash his tires, open his hood, take everything off his car, because I'll deal with his dad tomorrow while he's alive, okay? But don't let him die tonight. These are the discussions you need to have with children, teenagers especially. Blunt honesty. Don't have Mickey Mouse cartoons. Don't have fake blood. Don't try to think, if I just tell them somebody's going to get hurt from this, it's going to stop them from doing it. No. Blunt honesty. And what I'll put out there is, since legalization of cannabis, teenage use has plummeted, okay? Because it's no longer the forbidden fruit. There's some psychology here. And to give a teenager $25 for producing a meme, okay, and think it's going to convince somebody not to dab, you are smoking crack. So it's irritating to me that the DEA is going to promote through this group a 420 anti-campaign. It's like getting Greta Thunberg and think that she's going to convince people that climate change is somehow real just because she says, how dare you? I've got 2 grandchildren that are on the spectrum, and it irritates me. You take somebody like that and think you're going to make an expert out of them. It's just worthless, okay? And if you really want to attack teenage use, be honest with them. Don't have some mamby-pamby little pants pisser come in there and tell them, if you do this, it's gonna cause, no. You got to be blunt with kids, and you can't try to scare them with bluntness, but be honest with them. Give them alternatives. If they're doing it and they think it's fine, talk with them about it. Maybe you shouldn't go forward. If they do it and it's not fine, help your children to get away from this stuff. Okay? The DEA couldn't convince a kid not to smoke weed if their life depended on it. They are bad at it. And I'm just going to tell you, I've got lots of history with children who broke the rules and did all the drugs that they wanted to do, and I tried to help them through it, and they're friends. If you're not brutally honest with them, you're not going to reach these kids. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to throw us back at you guys, because I just chuckled a bit. I feel bad for this family. This kid jumped off this building. But to say his smoking dabs, caused him to have all these problems, it's not necessarily a straight line connect the dots here. There's a lot of other things going on. This is just worthless as tits on a bull, trying to get the DEA to convince people not to smoke weed. That's stupid. So back at you guys. What do you think?
100% down.
Look, I don't know if that's effective government spending, but aside from that, look, the more you tell the kids about my son, I have 13 and 15-year-olds. So the more you tell them, they know your prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until 24, 25, and maybe even longer for some. And they have no interest because consumption's so normalized here for medicinal or therapeutic purposes. They could not give a rat's ass. They know that when they need it, if they're older and they're going through a situation, that it's there, but there's no interest. And but the kids in Texas who are consuming or buying products are coming from those places where it's an abstinence only kind of community or conversation. And historically, we know that hasn't worked. We're dealing with this here in the Lone Star State because we've got legislators parading these mothers around. And it's a real sin because the truth is they're leveraging these poor moms And if we had education and we had access, then we could inform the mothers and the children and kids who have predispositions to perhaps schizophrenia or other mental health disorders that are exacerbated by products or bad products on the market. They would know and they wouldn't consume. But we're ignoring that because we just want to continue with the bullshit.
Yeah, I honestly, Jason, you should have your boys at Doge look into this.
I agree with that.
Government waste.
I totally agree with that, bro. Right there. I think Doge totally needs to look into this.
What they're doing here is they're helping identify who the biggest losers in every high school class are. Because like if you're accepting money from the DEA to tell your classmates not to smoke weed, I'm sorry. Good luck with your social life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like too that this is kind of like a push from the religious right. Like I think a lot of the money's come for this is coming out of Colorado Springs because Easter is on 420 this year. And like I've never seen them try to put together this type of ad before. And so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it, with the fact that 420 is going to be on Easter this year.
Yeah, this has Kevin Sabet and like Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick written all over it.
See, I was going to say more. What's his name? Dobson. To focus on the family. Charles Dobson.
Dobson.
Yeah.
Dobson, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it has his fingerprints on it more.
Sam has a big office in the Springs. They're one of their VPs is based down there.
That's. I mean, I think it is. I totally agree with all of you guys. This, if you want kids not to smoke weed, this is not how you go about doing it. How you coax them. And I'm not even a parent. All the kids that I have are all fully grown. You know what I mean? They're all full grown adults that I have to like babysit all day. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work. Honestly, we're beating a drum that's not fucking necessary because it's not cool anymore. Like, it's not something that is mysterious or secretive. Your parents are doing it, so it's definitely not fucking cool anymore. Your mom's like, I'm a cool mom. I'm having a glass of champagne and eating a gummy tonight. Let me tell you what you're going to do. Go eat a gummy or smoke weed right now. So, like, this is just an absolute waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And it's trying to reinstill me for madness when it doesn't exist. Like, we're seeing a downtrend in youth using cannabis. So we do an anti-drinking thing because I'm pretty sure kids are still sucking down PBRs.
They are. A lot of natural ice, PBR, all that cheap stuff. And very.
I know when I was a teenager, telling me the horrors of drinking and smoking and taking acid just made me want to do it more.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I want to try. That sounds fun.
Yeah. And I have 3 sons, and I had to bail each of them out for stupid shit they did. But none of them went on to be drug addicts because I was pretty damn blunt with them. Okay.
Dale,
when
part of it.
A headache from being drunk. I said, that's because you're a fucking idiot drinking.
Dale, part of it is because we tell our kids that, hey, life is all about the experiences and da 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 da. So we kind of like get them, hyped up. So then that way they can have all different types of experiences. And then we're telling them about these experiences like, hey, I want to try that too.
Yeah. Well, there's no more secrets. I mean, every drug a kid learns about before they get to junior high school from their friends because their parents are using every fucking drug you can imagine. If you look at a parent going off the cliff with their life because they're drinking or smoking too much or taking too much Xanax, whatever, that's better at getting kids not to use that shit than these Mickey Mouse little memes and giving some kid a $25 gift card at Amazon for doing a public service message. That's stupid.
Dale, I was going to totally blame it on Al Gore because he's the one that invented the internet.
I wonder also about like prescription medication abuse. Isn't that like the biggest one?
That's way bigger. Way bigger.
Xannies.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other thing is, okay, so if you tell the kids it's really, really bad for you and you go with this whole dare thing and then they try something and it's not bad, now we've got how it becomes the gateway. It's not a gateway because the plant is inherently a gateway. It's a gateway because you lied. They found out you lied and they want to know, what else are you lying about? Let's go find out on our own without disclosing this to our parents because they already lied to us. So like, come on, America, get real.
That was definitely my experience with drugs.
Well, and sex is kind of fun, Like you tell kids not to have it, they're going to find out, yeah, this feels good.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, to be honest with them. Feels good, but you can get pregnant or have to go get a shot.
Yep.
Same thing with any substance you can use. There's an up and a downside to it. And in my experience, being honest, keeps your kids from growing to be drug addicts. Okay, as best as you can. And if you're not honest with them, they're going to end up there because you lied to them and they just ran with it. And it's not a good thing. And this is just Mickey Mouse. I feel bad for this family whose kid jumped off a building. I really do. That's tragic.
I do too. Yes, 100%. Condolences to the family.
The rest of this stuff, I think Doge might want to look into this because this is really a waste of money.
I totally.
The one that jumped off the balcony, was that in Colorado that happened in like 2013 or 2014?
You're talking about the kid that's at the beginning of legalization, the foreign exchange student from
that came down to Denver.
No. He was a foreign exchange student from Africa, and he
was studying at the University of Wyoming.
I don't know about all that. He was
in Denver.
He was in Denver. He was in Denver for the whole start of the whole legalization, the whole thing.
He was there for like New Year's, I think.
One of the first. Well, no. It was for the very start. Whenever it was when they started
2014,
sales.
Yeah, January 1st, 2014.
Okay, that's what he was out there for, and he ate some gummies and he jumped off of his hotel balcony.
Yeah.
That is. I remember that.
Allow you to fly.
No, it does not.
What they say. You can't fly when you take a gummy.
Yeah, it's not Red Bull. It's not going to give you wings. That's for sure. And on that, we're going to roll into our next commercial, and we are going to be right back.
I'm Cole Preston, and today I'm at Blue Island Beer Company for the premiere of my mini documentary on legalization policy in Illinois. I've been following cannabis policy since colorful Colorado legalized it all the way back in the day. And when my home state of Illinois decided to legalize it, I just became enamored. I wondered, what would it actually look like? If you'd like to see how Illinois fell short in achieving meaningful reform in their cannabis policy, you can watch my mini doc now at colememo.com/minidoc.
Butter on the butter.
All right. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. And YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.high9news.com. I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that, they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi. And we are back, you guys. Jenny, what are you doing, Jenny?
I'm fixing my connection.
Oh,
What are you
okay.
doing, Jason?
All right. Just wondering because we can see your fingerprints.
Wondering what that looks like. Is that really? Does it have any hair on it? What is it?
Oh, go for it, Rico. Go for it.
And on that note, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome our newest member to the team. Good friend of mine and a lot of us on the show. We've known her for years. She's a military veteran, a professional mediator, and arbitrator. When people want to solve problems and avoid lawyers, they don't call Saul. They call Shaun. Shaun who? Shaun Salvaje. Shaun Salvaje, what do you have for us today? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to be back.
Straight out. Are you still representing the?
She's out of Austin, bro. She's out of Austin, bro. She's out of Austin.
ATX represent. It's
I'm
Jason's
still
favorite acronym.
It's
still fighting.
people
And that actually brings me. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say people that use the acronym ATX just show that they can't read.
Or that they're from California.
No.
ATX in their house. Yeah, we are just outside of Austin, and my story today is all about how we are about to be up in smoke if we don't get our shit together here in Texas. So Texas Cannabis cannot afford a civil war. This one's coming from me, straight from the sources, guys, right out of the horse's mouth here in Tejas. So today's top story out of Texas isn't just about the misinformation or reefer madness legislators are pushing to outlaw the state's cannabis market. It's about a slow-burning internal conflict that threatens to reduce the largest federally legal cannabis market in the United States. Earlier this week, medical cannabis operators in Texas reported receiving threats of violence and vandalism, maybe some death threats, following their publicly announced support for SB 3. A controversial measure proposing a sweeping hemp ban statewide, basically killing our entire market because everyone here is pretty much dabbling in THCA. At the center of the controversy, there are two bills. Both of them were authored by Senator Charles Perry, a Republican out of Lubbock. Y'all have heard about him. First, Senate Bill 3, you know that as the hemp ban. It seeks to drastically restrict and in many cases criminalize the thriving Texas market. No THCA, no Delta 8, nothing but CBD and CBG. So any other cannabinoid, you're an outlaw. And this is going to eliminate an $8 to $12 billion market. So I would be curious to see how much of that is coming from Cali, but it is being grown here in Texas as well. So we don't call Texas the third coast without reason. It is a large market. It is the largest federally legal market. Still, we'll see if that persists. And at the same time that Senator Perry introduced SB 3, he made a smart play. He introduced SB 1505, which is intended to expand Texas' highly restrictive medical marijuana market, known as the Texas Compassionate Use Program, or the TCUP program. Y'all might hear us referencing that. So they would go with Senator Perry's bill from 3 whole licenses to 6. I'm sure, you know, the big companies like Trulieve are eyeballing those next 3 licenses. Critics have argued that SB 1505 appears as lip service, and it's a move aimed at placating dozens of Texas veterans and patients who regularly lobby the Capitol, so that legislators can save face and say that they're not taking medicine away from patients or consumers and that they're coming up with other means. But what we saw when the legislature started to unfold was a little bit of a fratricide between medical hemp and, of course, marijuana. So we've got our underground illicit market, which is definitely coming up with more than 8 to 12 billion. And then we've got THCA in our hemp market. And then we've got our medical market, which has a very low dose, like 5 mg caps. It's really low and basically useless. They're infighting, and now over the weekend, you know, attorney Chelsea Spencer, who represents hemp operators and organizations like Texas Original, they received information that there is a party who has been sending death threats and encouraging community members to vandalize the medical dispos, which are already struggling because they, as Chelsea Spencer points out, if they were the big bad villains that folks are purporting them to be, then why haven't they gotten more medical expansion? Like, if we're so big and bad with all of our lobbying dollars, then why are we only getting 3 licenses versus something, you know, quite a bit more expansive, which is fair and valid and actually pretty accurate. I would say that most of the medical operators here in the South are actually not bad actors. They're doing their best. I've personally worked with Good Blend to give away hundreds of recommendations, medical recommendations to veterans. They've done good things for the community. At the same time, I think that a lot of hemp operators felt betrayed when they came out in support of SB3 because it felt like they were cornering the market through regulatory capture. We know that organizations like Trulieve do this. But these smaller medical operators, yes, some of them are, like Good Blends, I think is still backed by Parallel. That's not a small mom and pops. That's a big org. But there are operators in Texas that are local and on the ground, and they're part of our community. So sending them death threats is just not the way to do it. The bottom line is that these divide and conquer tactics, legislators don't have to work too hard to execute that if we're doing it to ourselves. So why is this news if we're pretty much all aware of this in the cannabis industry, that some things like this have happened in other states? Why is it news now? Because after years of seeing us do this in other states and now witnessing it firsthand in Lone Star State, we really just need to get our shit together as cannabis operators. I think the whole infight between hemp, medical, and marijuana, it's just got to stop. And we need to pull together and stop pretending that we can fight this on our own, that any legislator will give you a corner of a market. They won't. They are out to fuck you, and they will through laws and legislation. Stop fighting with each other, get it together, and unite to bring markets online in a smart, safe, and regulated way. Otherwise, you can kiss it all goodbye. So question is, will Texas stakeholders realize this in time, or will our industry ultimately go up in smoke? I'm going to pitch it to y'all because I'd love to get your insights. We know we've seen bad blood between different operators in other states and in California specifically. So how did y'all deal with it?
Man,
we didn't deal with it.
What do you mean? I don't understand why Texas medical operators would come out in support of the hemp ban, because it's not even a remotely competitive product to what they have.
Well, it's because they're getting paid off by Kim Rivers, bro.
Restricted it's like what 1% or 5% total, tinctures only, no smoke, no vape, no edibles. How are you even fighting with the people that are selling flour and gummies in a smoke shop or in a gas station?
Sohum, you gotta follow the money, bro. You got to follow the money because Kim Rivers and Parallel and Brady Cobb and all our Sunshine Boys are paying for people to have these positions. They're building an alliance.
I think Sohum, that goes back to I think it was 3LW that said, players gonna play and haters gonna hate.
Yeah, and I get it, because our medical market is failing. Like, our teacup program is failing. But I don't see that as
it was failed from the start.
I see that as the fault of not fighting for more regulation. Like, fight for flower.
It's a shitty bill that doesn't. It's not a big enough. There's not a big enough market for 1% THC tincture to justify opening a dispensary. Like, it's a market that was set up to fail.
It sounds
teacup market.
It sounds to me like Sheldon Adelson got a 2-for-1 sale on protesters. So then that way they can bomb the Tesla dealerships as well as going bomb the hemp retailers.
Is the one paying people to bomb Tesla dealerships? Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you are so far off on that. That is insane.
A 2-for-1 deal, kind of like the tires on Greg Abbott's wheelchair.
This is a fairly simple psychological technique. It's called splitting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Dale.
If you don't understand that you're being split here, it's like kids do to parents. They go to one parent and the other. And the real question is, can you join hands for the right cause? Or are you going to be susceptible to be splitting? We saw it here in California. As soon as they got a group set up of people who were licensed, they wanted to go after everybody who wasn't licensed and lock them all out of the market. It's like, fuck you. We're all on the same sheet here. You're going to look at your own economic interests over the good of everybody else. And now you're going to be split by the government. They're going to be able to do it to you. And we're watching it here. My kids did it to me. I did it to my parents. This is not deep psychological shit here. It's just you open yourself up when factions can't get along.
Well, and we need to tighten down our definition of cannabis operator. The guy who owns fucking Buc-ee's is not a cannabis operator. That man owns a gas station. So, like, we need to be realistic about who we are when we say we as cannabis operators. Like, we need to, not that everybody's opinion doesn't count, but everybody's opinion doesn't fucking count. So, sorry, hate to be the asshole. Mama's home. Welcome back, Jenny Beth. But we really, really need to start to actually get opinions of people who fucking matter, of people who are actually out here operating. And we need to, as operators, kind of blend together a little better. It happens in every state. It happens in every industry. This is not cannabis fucking specific. The specific thing to cannabis is that we can't decide that two sides of our industry meld together. So that's what's different with us, and that we're federally illicit. So those are the problems that I see with it. But I mean, at the end of the day, operators are going to fight. That's what's going to fucking happen.
Well said, Jenny Beth. Very
I think
said.
it's a shame though. Like you said, it happens in every state, but it's a shame that a lot of these early license holders, you know, purport to be very, very anti-prohibitionist, right? But then as soon as it's their market that's being threatened, then they're suddenly come out as advocates of crackdowns against people that are not fitting within their license scheme so that they can protect their profits.
I mean, in all fairness, though, I mean, we've always have been divided and whatnot, and you know, like even before the days of legalization and whatnot, when we just had dispensaries, I know people that would Molotov cocktail firebomb other dispensaries that they viewed as competition and whatnot, and at the same time, you know, even before dispensaries, there was always turf wars and different things like that. So like this has been happening for centuries, and it's going to continue to go on and whatnot. It's not going to stop.
Texas is that we have this very large THCA.
Then why are you making such a big deal?
We have this huge market, and we don't have that. We don't have people throwing Molotovs.
That's because you guys have open carry out there.
Exactly. Well, and that's probably a good part of it. Is that
yeah, that's a big part of it right there.
Well,
Forget open carry. We got constitutional carry.
Getting into cannabis now seems safe. Getting into cannabis when Jason got into it, when I got into it, when Sohum got into it, when Dale was doing it, was not safe. We weren't holding hands and smoking a fucking peace pipe and having a little rally with a bunch of little.
Well, some people were. The hippies were.
Lemonade and eat a cookie. We were fucking going down on each other like this was fucked up. So this was a real fucking drug industry. So when we look at, oh, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. Yeah, you don't, because it's safe now. It's not something that is so like thuggish, ruggish. Like you had to fucking risk it for the fucking biscuit when we came into this shit.
Risk it for the biscuit.
You're taking is a little bit
outlaw country. I get Texas outlaw mindset and all the history behind the plant and everything, but I think part of the big reason why we don't have all that is because we went hemp first, and it was the smart way to graduate and set up the industry without necessarily triggering all of those fights. But if they do this ban, that will all go away. It will be Wild West again, and it's not going to be in the way where it's like cute little gangs and neighborhoods. It's much bigger operations out here. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah, so, right. Not the cannabis industry, and I'm not going to sit down and let you say that one. Well, I don't know if you need to come do some California operations, but everything is not bigger in Texas.
I'm good.
I love that you guys are doing what you're doing, and I love that you guys went hemp first. That's cool. But you guys went hemp first because that's all you could get through. And I hate to break it to you, but go in those gas stations and pull some of that THCA flower out and test it. It's California weed. It just fucking is. And that's cool. I'm glad that you guys have access. Access is important. But like, we don't have to just shit on every other market because Texas is a bigger state mass wise.
No one is shitting on any market. I was just speaking to the Texas market. And as far as like understanding the legacy operations and all of that, I'm good. We're good here in Texas. There's a very long history. Many of our folks went out to the Emerald Triangle. So thank you.
So they had to go to Cali to learn it? Because Cali's not.
Oh, you guys are funny.
This is crazy because this is exactly what this article is about industry bullshit and ego. And I'm, for one, as a mediator, am sick of it because we're not solving any problems. We're not solving any problems.
Speaking of solving problems, we're going to roll into our next commercial and we are going to be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, I left one, you know? But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where will I even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
maybe let's be more specific.
And we're back, you guys. We're going to roll right into Miss Jenny Beth Dills. She's the founder of Kind Cannabis that can help you with your metric, your compliance, and apparently pretty soon she can even help you if you're in the great state of Illinois because they are making the move. And she also is the founder of Justice Served, a 501c3 justice-focused organization that helps justice-impaired individuals get their life back on track. That's right, it is none other than Miss Jenny Beth Dills.
Jason saying Justin Impaired is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Impaired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Troy? Everybody. Hi, Dale. Welcome, Shaun. Okay, Jason, I picked this story for a good reason. It's because it's going to piss you off.
I saw it was out of Vermont, too.
You're going to be so mad.
I love Vermont.
I know. I should have done it. I should have done it tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Or Friday with Dr. Mark on. But I try not to get you guys, But Vermont's cannabis industry could feel the heat from the ongoing U.S. tariff war, especially when it comes to trade with Canada. Amy Limbs, a board member with the Vermont Growers Association, says the biggest issue is uncertainty. It's impossible to forecast future sales with the on-again, off-again implementation happening at the federal level. That chaos is all the more reason to plead with the Vermont Cannabis Control Board and lawmakers to help stabilize the industry. Lim says tariffs on Canadian import will drive up the cost of equipment, raw materials, and possibly energy, especially for indoor growers. We're buying all that from other places, but okay, cool. While Canadian cannabis isn't directly targeted, a report from StratCan.com points out that parts of the cannabis supply chain, like packaging and certain equipment, could be impacted. That means higher costs for producers and consumers alike. Senator Peter Welch is placing the blame squarely on former President Trump. In a post last week, Welch says, Trump keeps changing his mind on tariffs, but the damage is done. Small businesses in Vermont are already losing money because of him. Welch recently met with business owners from both sides of the border to hear their concerns. Senator Peter Welch says there's no place for this. We're neighbors, allies, friends, and I want to keep it that way. Canada is Vermont's largest trading partner. 1 in 4 businesses in the state depend on that trade, and Welch says 25% hike on imports could be devastating. Senator Peter Welch, everybody knows, except apparently President Trump, that the people who pay the tariffs are the ones buying the products. This is really, really stupid. This is going to hurt Vermont. So we're going to keep following this, but here's the thing. They're complaining about being able to project sales in licensed cannabis dispensaries. So essentially, you're admitting that you're selling to people who are going to take it back across international borders, which is definitely fucking Dale. I'm sure you can agree with me, illegal as fuck. Secondly, the point of the tariffs is buy your equipment. There are plenty of amazing manufacturers stateside. There are plenty of them in the Northeast. There are plenty of them that exist. If you don't know, Indo Expo, unfortunately, we're not throwing that anymore, but it was amazing. If you're bored, go to BizCon. You can fucking see all these products. Buy things stateside, and it won't be a problem. But Rico, I'm glad you made it back for this one. Sohum, I just can't wait to watch you guys argue with Jason, and that is why I picked this story. Sohum strapping up with those headphones and getting ready to go.
These people in Vermont are just as lunatic as the people in Maryland that are trying to justify their 33% tax hike with the fact that federal workers being fired. This is about as dumb as that.
Any registered Republican against tariffs is 100% a rhino, right, Jason?
They are. And I'm 100% for tariffs because tariffs are paid for by the people that buy them. I'm 100% for the tariffs. And I love your comment in here, Rico. I think that is fantastic. Rico has pledged to name his firstborn son Tariff.
It's gonna be it'll be pronounced Tarif.
Tarif.
You're pro tariffs because you don't remember Econ 101 from.
I actually do. I actually did economics. I got A's in economics. I'm a master at economics, and I can count actual money.
You must have gone to Arizona
he never
took.
College. He never took economics. He just did economics.
I mastered economics. Okay.
Syntax.
Yeah.
Note exactly what he said.
Yeah.
I did economics.
He took an economics class at a college. It was a very, very good college. So it was very.
It was. It actually. You want me to tell you the name of the school? You want me to tell you the name of the school?
University, or it was Arizona.
Hold on. No. Sohum. No. Sohum. I went to a real college. I'm going to tell you what school I went to. It was the School of Hard Knocks, and I got a master's. Yep. I got a master's in common sense and a minor's in criminology.
Where'd you get your BS in?
He got his BA in BS.
Exactly. Yeah, my BA's in BS. That's right.
The BS, I think, is in economics.
It's three PhDs.
Yeah, tariffs are a terrible trade policy in a globalized economy.
No, it's not. We're not globalists, bro. We're America first.
that's what you would like to be, but that is not how the economy and the world economy functions. But sure, you can want that. That's not.
This is how it is.
100 years.
It's just what it is, bro. America first, bro.
We're exporting nation now. We're just all exports, no import.
Yeah, we're gonna build all our factories on Greenland.
I got two things to say here.
Go for it, Dale.
First of all, as Marcus Aurelius said, opinions of 10,000 men are worthless if they know nothing on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true.
Looking at you, Jason.
He's not talking to me. He's talking to you, Sohum.
No, he's definitely not talking to me. He's talking to the person that thinks that tariffs are a good trade policy.
Tariffs are fantastic policy.
You could say that a million times. It's not ever going to be true.
I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, till my face matches my jacket. Sohum.
Yeah, you seem to like blue a whole lot. And speaking of liking things a whole lot, the C word hit us with a super chat.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, thank you.
Spacewalk RSVPs are going fast. And also, High at 9 News rules. So big shout out to the
much love
the C word out
the C
there.
word, yes.
And make sure you guys hit up the spacewalk for them RSVPs. They are going fast. You make sure you want to catch them before Pete Hexeth gets caught with another leaked conversation.
Oh boy. You're so funny, bro. You're so funny. You're so funny. These people complain, thinking that we care about what Canada thinks about tariffs is just asinine to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just keep on thinking that, man. I'm loving these Trumponomics going on right now. You know, things are looking great for the country.
Mm-hmm. What's that, Shaun?
Well, no matter where you land on it, whether you're pro-Trump or not, whether you're into tariffs or not, I think we need to come to the realization in this country that shit is changing and it is not going to be what it's been the last 20 years. And it's changing in a way that is very unprecedented, that we've never seen before. And that globalized market that we had a vision of in the United States, we're moving towards isolationism. And we need to come to grips with that. Especially if you want to survive in any kind of market, you need to adjust fire. So to the operators who are out there worrying about these tariffs, you're going to have to adjust your business plan because shit's happening whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny is Vermont Alternative brings up another point, and we said it the reverse way, but he says Canadians are not permitted to bring cannabis from Vermont back to Canada in any situation, and he's totally right about that. And to which I say they will be Vermont Alternative. They will be once Canada is the 51st state. And we just got another super chat in from Moy Freestyle Life, who says, "Why don't Americans like supporting their own?" I'm with you, right. Moy. I don't understand that either. They're so half backwards.
That's dumbing the issue down to
no, it's not.
A basic level.
It's a basic fundamental. It's like the foundation. It's like a foundational point. Sohum.
We're crying about the economy. We're crying about being broke. We're crying about being jobless, but we're also saying, hey, let us buy shit cheaper from other countries instead of supporting our own.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
Well, here's another way to put it. You spent the past 2 years screaming about inflation, and now you want to inflate the price of domestically produced products by using tariffs. It makes zero fucking sense.
Hey, Jenny Beth,
there is no tariffs on domestically produced products, Sohum.
Hold on. The problem is the American consumer's mindset is a consumerist's mindset. Mm-hmm. We're not a productionist country. People aren't making shit here, they're buying shit. So until we start putting people in more trade schools and putting more emphasis on that and actually teaching people how to code and everything, like, it's going to stay the same and shit's just going to get worse.
I know you've taken an Instagram break, but have you realized how many ads are on there for fucking coding fucking programs?
And where are those ads coming from? Have you checked the source code of those ads, or where they're actually being made, and seeing where those are coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Not America.
You sure?
Not America.
Moy Freestyle threw in another super chat. He says American normies are cheap AF mofos. LOL.
Yeah, all you Sheehan.
Mm-hmm.
Smoot Hawley. You study Smoot Hawley in your BA of School of Hard Knocks there, Jason?
Say that again, Dale. I'm sorry.
The only time he's heard about Smoot Hawley was when he was watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, the only Holly Jason knows about is
I know Buddy Holly.
Josh Holly.
I know Buddy Holly. That's from Dale's time zone.
Here. and I think Shaun hit upon it. There's a pendulum swing going on here to the period after World War I, where we got very isolationist and let the world do what they wanted. Then guys like my uncle had to go into Normandy on D-Day and go kick the shit out of people in Europe. And pendulum is swinging back, and the Europeans need to dig in their pockets, take care of themselves.
Yep.
The United States is the head of a globalist network right now, and that you just can't pretend like it's not that way. And in my view, Smoot-Hawley is pretty applicable because it'll tank the world economy. And that's some history right there for you. Go look it up, Jason.
I am. I'm going to Google that right now, Dale.
What happened after that?
Do y'all think they'll let us grow weed in our victory gardens? Because that's kind of where we're going. So, like, for all of these smaller conversations where we're diving into details, it's so important to do it. But I think Americans should be getting ready for a tough time. I think the whole world should be getting ready for a tough time.
I think we all had a tough time these last 4 years. 100%. I'm with you on that, Shaun.
I'm about to get even bumpier.
It's gonna get worse.
That's fine. I'm fine with that because I know ultimately it'll be greater later.
You outrun a bullet, Jason?
All day, every day, Dale. Done a few.
I'm not even worried about bullets.
I'm like the Matrix, bro. I'm like the Matrix.
Here's Mr.
You watch too many video games, then.
You know the secret.
I was in the military during the war.
Can we get a clip of Jason doing that dance?
Yeah. Dale, you know the secret to not getting wet when it rains?
Staying inside.
You got to weave in and out of the raindrops.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Does Donald Trump have a late run?
Texas hailstorm. Can't run, you can't hide, and you can't make it stop.
Oh, so good. So good. So good. You ready for our final story, Rico?
You know what? If you're already ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's
and
right.
Up next, we have the man representing the acronym most hated by Jason Beck.
It's Austin, bro. It's
ATX.
ATX is for people that can't read English.
That's right. This cannabis technologist has been in the game for over a decade. He has been known from all corners of the cannabis planet. And I just learned this week that you good friends with my man Brad Bogus out there in Denver, man.
I was hanging out in Cheeseman Park with him on Sunday. I was back home for my brother's baby shower. I got a chance to hang with Brad and my buddy Vince. We were all homies from our time at the Cannabis together.
That's good stuff, man. We gotta have a conversation about that. Up next, this is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, representing these ATX streets. Here to break us off with a little bit of the truth that Jason Beck is sure to negate.
Stop it.
Sohum Shah.
All right. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about cannabis testing, and I mean impairment testing. So, a federal official downplays the criticism that saliva-based marijuana testing as a urine alternative would spur use by truckers, and this is from Ben Adwin at Marijuana Moment. Amid ongoing discussions about how to ensure drivers aren't impaired by marijuana, a federal official recently pushed back on criticism that proposed implementation of saliva-based drug testing could incentivize more cannabis use by commercial truckers. In comments to the publication Transit Topics, an unidentified official from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, responded to assertions from the CEO that a drug testing company that oral fluid testing means trucker who use cannabis will be able to do so with near impunity as long as they avoid a drug test for a couple of days. The contention of the CEO, Ken Fitchler of Gaze, was that the DOT's shift to oral fluid testing will have serious consequences for the trucking industry because saliva testing has a shorter detection window than typical urine-based testing. He said the test detect used within 24 to 48 hours, which is far shorter than the period of weeks when marijuana metabolites can be detected in urine. The DOT finalized the new testing policies in 2023 to allow oral saliva drug testing as an alternative to urine-based tests. A SAMHSA official, granted anonymity by Transit Topics, disputed Fitchler's claims both on the test detection window itself and the implications of DOT's revised testing policies for truckers' marijuana use. Quote, in reference journal articles, cannabis use can be detected via oral fluid testing for up to 72 hours, the official said. When a donor receives a request for collection, the donor will not know if the test will be an oral fluid or a urine collection until they arrive at the collection facility for a federal agency. Not knowing whether to expect a saliva or urine test, in other words, would prevent the situation described by Fitchler of drivers simply stopping marijuana use a few days before a saliva-based test. As Transit Topics reported, quote, federal drug officials say that directly observed urine specimen collections have long been the most effective method for preventing individuals from cheating on their drug tests by substituting or adulterating their specimens. But directly observed urine collection may only be done in certain circumstances due to employer privacy concerns. Oral fluid testing, by contrast, is more easily observable without the same privacy concerns. Some advocates of the use of oral fluid have noted that it would also be better determine impairment because it detects recent marijuana use, thus reducing false positives in situations such as post-accident drug tests. You can read more about these people going back and forth, but I'd like to kick it back to the team and see what everyone has to say here. To me, this is just crazy. Like, until we have something that is actually detecting active impairment for THC, I think they really need to limit the amount of drug testing that's being done. I understand there's an insurance issue, but again, we need to figure out how to detect active impairment and not punish people for things they do off the clock and potentially in a state where it's legal. But yeah, this is Sohum reporting from Jason's favorite city, the ATX, for High 9 News. And let's kick it back to the rest of the team.
Man, they always try to get involved with the truckers, man. They're always trying to pick on the truckers on this stuff.
They're easy targets because most people aren't going to argue that truckers should not be driving around stones. So
I feel you. I feel
super
you.
Easy.
And they say it's hard to hit a moving target, but I feel like this one is pretty easy to hit.
Yeah, one thing I say is, like, if we're ever talking about anything related to prohibition or legalization or anything, the people that we should not be listening to are people that operate rehab facilities, drug testing facilities, anything like that. They have such a blatant conflict of interest. Like, why are we listening to the CEO of a drug testing company on what the fuck he cares about?
I totally agree with you on that.
Because the CEO of that drug testing company is throwing money in politicians' pockets.
And more money than the cannabis industry is, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And they'll be the ones who are called to testify. Jenny's right about that. They will specifically call these executives because they have the data that they want.
Yeah. And they like to paint narratives, and they're so good. They almost should be working for the nail polish industry. They paint so well.
Well, and like the truckers are also, truckers unions and those things are like not allowing a lot of things. It's not just cannabis. Like, they're not allowed to have alcohol in their trucks. They're not allowed to, like, even if you have, like, my mom's a trucker, so she has like a 48-hour reset, which means she's just sitting somewhere for 48 hours. She can't have a beater. Like, that's not allowed in or around her vehicle. And that's because these are very large instruments of death if used inappropriately. We saw that fair. In Colorado with a gentleman who sped up instead of slowed down on accident and killed how many people? So I think that there's a fine line. Like, do I want the guy driving the fucking US Express truck down the highway next to me and my child to be stoned out of his mind and taking a dab? No. But do I want him to be able to, when he's on his home time because his back hurts because he sits in a truck all day, to be able to medicate with cannabis? Absolutely. So I think switching to saliva-based testing would make more sense, but we need to, there's active impairment looks different in everyone. Jason Beck is retardedly stoned at all times of his life, and you can't tell.
So we can tell.
Stop.
I think there's levels to this.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I kind of, you know what I mean, in regards with all this, because I do believe that everyone has different tolerance levels. But you know what kind of a study I would honestly really like to see? I would like to see them actually do a study to see how much smoking cannabis while behind the wheel lowers road rage in drivers. Now that would be a study that I would want to see, because I'm a firm believer that smoking cannabis and driving drops your road rage 10,000%.
I'm also curious, like, for other medications, what are the rules? Like, is there an insurance issue or an insurance concern? Because if they haven't had a ton of cases where drivers are ramming into things because they're high as fuck, then why are we talking about this? We can set guidelines, and when it becomes an issue, you can litigate it and set precedent. But otherwise, like, this is like cart before the horse.
Well, it's because there's so many Karens out there, Shaun. There's so many Karens out there that are all concerned about this.
Yeah, okay, Jason, but also we shouldn't have to like have people die to be like, oh, now there's a problem.
People have been smoking. People have been smoking weed and driving since the 60s and 70s, and this was never a thing.
I'm speaking right now.
Sorry, Jenny.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you today too.
Thank you, darling. I mean, unfortunately, in this instance, it's kind of something that it's like harm reduction. We need to make sure, like, people shouldn't have to get run over or run off the road or die for us to be like, oopsie daisy, now let's deal with it.
I agree. I just wonder how proactive and necessary all of this testing is. If they don't have a huge issue with truckers doing it, why are we making it a big issue? Like, set the guidelines, make the rules, but do you have to test your drivers for deterrence, or are they managing themselves already?
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, they were claiming, the DOT was claiming that they were having a hard time. We were facing a shortage of truck drivers, long-haul truck drivers, because of the cannabis testing rules. So I think that's partially why they're looking at making a move like this. But again, even 3 days is not testing active. I mean, it's better than a urine test for sure, but it's still not. There's no, just because I smoked 3 days ago, if you take a saliva test, like that has nothing to do with me getting in my car and driving to the grocery store.
It's almost like they should just have a smell test. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it smells like it's super, super fresh and super, super loud in there, then you know what I'm saying? There's a probable cause.
Yeah, because we know how that worked with the war on drugs.
I mean, most of these people,
probable cause.
Most of these people all smoke mids anyway.
People want to compare cannabis to alcohol, and they have a mindset that if I take a test, I can prove you're impaired. The answer is you absolutely cannot do that. And to Shaun's question, for all the other drugs, if you read the side of the bottle, it says don't drive or operate dangerous equipment until you know what this is going to do to you. And I've been an insurance defense lawyer for a long time, and there are issues of causation. But if you're stopped at a stop sign, someone runs in the back of you and they find out you just smoked a weed.
Oh, it's your fault.
Cause a problem for you? No, you didn't cause the fucking accident. The person ran into you did.
But if you're operating a company vehicle, the first thing you're going to do is go piss in a cup and probably get fired.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they still do fire people for that because they have a hard time distinguishing causation for this. They just say, if you got it in there, you're done. It's like
open and shut case.
You're going to be a bosun's mate tonight. You're going on the next ship out. And it really didn't make any difference. It's like, if you're the janitor, who gives a fuck if you've been smoking weed at lunch while you're mopping the floor? Who cares?
You're so right about that, Dale. So right. It's open and shut case for them.
Jason?
It's open and shut case for them when they find it in your system like that. And you will be denied your insurance claim. Yeah, exactly. I'm totally with you, Dale. I'm all the way with you on this.
That happens with any employee insurance. Any kind of employee accident, you're drug tested immediately. It's how it works. Shout out to Beth Oberg, my 5th grade teacher. We went bowling. She couldn't get her fucking hand out of the bowling ball, and it drug her down the fucking alley. So she had to go get drug tested.
Do they blame that on weed too?
Well, she tried to say she had a poppy seed bagel. Now as an adult, I'm like, bitch, you were smoking weed. But I understand because the kids in my class were also difficult.
I don't know how you can be a teacher and not smoke weed, honestly.
Literally, other people's children.
If they stop testing for cannabis, do you think the number of users would go down?
Yeah, right. If they stop testing, I think they would.
That's cute, Rico. That's cute. That's cute.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to learn Trump logic, man. I'm trying to get down with this whole MAGA.
It ain't logical, Rico.
movement.
It ain't logical.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta take the brain out of your head.
You're right. It's not logical. It's commonsensical, you guys. It's called commonsensical.
Common sensational. We have any more comments on that one, man?
I think we're ready to roll, Rico.
Here we go, man. I think we are ready to roll. Yep. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of High 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to super fans. We had a few today. Who had
we had the C word, we had Muay Thai lifestyle, and you know what I'm saying? We had it popping over here. Thank you all for those super chats. We super appreciate that.
Yes, we really do appreciate
that. Look at Jenny showed some love.
Please keep those coming, and make sure you guys hit the like button, smash that like button. Don't matter if you sloppy second or third, she cleans herself up, and you be all right. Smash it on the way out.
Get on, Rico.
Shout out to Bonnie Blue and all the rest of our Live audience members tuning in from all reaches of the world. Also to our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, bringing this much needed variety of perspective, your respected opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, all the sponsors keeping our lights on, AV struggles to a minimum. Anthony behind the scenes doing the damn thing. As always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason why we show up to read these stories every single day. Thank you. It has been Wednesday, Hemp Day. March 26th, 2025. The show is over. You've all been blessed. The top industry headlines. Hope is enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. And if you're in Texas, make sure you got the finest of THCA flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News, America's #1 daily cannabis news show. And today we're going to do things a little different and pop things out to the newbie. Shaun Salvaje, welcome to the show. I'm going to leave these people with a positive note to leave on.
A positive note for me?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all just take care of each other. It seems like we're at this juncture where we're looking at how are we going to balance being a nanny state and actually being what we stand for in America, which is gross independence and intelligent conversation. So as things continue to unfold on Signal and publicly, just stay tapped in and stay well medicated. Take it easy, y'all.
As Barbara Bush once said, just say no.
Yeah.
Nancy Reagan too.
Check your signals often.
Yeah.